So we begin, very beginning of our gathering here at Ananda, is that we bring our attention on our breath, not just typically the breathing in and the breathing out, but as we're breathing in, we're remembering that the breath is the carriage of the soul. The breath is the carriage of the soul. And as you breathe in, you can visualize, if you can, the sunbeam from the sun, the source of consciousness, the light of the divine, and the beam representing the breath, the carriage that breathes the soul into your being. So as you breathe in, opening, receiving the breath as the carriage of the soul, breathing in the light, receiving the breath as the bridge from the dimension of light to the earth, from heaven to earth. I breathe the breath, light, the breath of light breathes me. I breathe the breath of love, the breath of love breathes me. Continuing to open, to breathe, to receive love's breath. Breathing deeply into your belly so that the breath is anchored completely, wholly, and totally into your being, anchoring totally, wholly, and completely the soul into being. And today I welcome you to a journey through every time, every world has ever come together, not by accident, but by an ancient plan to begin the restoring and the returning of the very soul of humanity into the new awakening upon our earth. We were all together in the ancient primordial beginning from before time, and together we birthed time to discover every possibility of our own creative power. Never has there been a separation save within the perceiving aspect of the mind, in order that we may experience loss, fragmentation, isolation, alienation. And from these things, we also brought forth fear. Here the journey of separation began, a journey outside the dimension of light. Each and every one of you have known many journeys, many worlds, and many degrees of guilt and fear. And yet, as we know, all was by perfect design. There has been no mistakes and no errors. Today we celebrate Harmony Day, a day that acknowledges all people, all races, all genders, all cultures as one equal being upon earth. All spiritual beings having a human experience. Every one of us, a soul extended from the one infinite source of consciousness to bring loving harmony and peaceful presence upon our home, this earth. In order to truly find yourself as a soul, the very first step that you need to take is a very big one. In order to know yourself as a soul, you must be willing just temporarily to let absolutely everything go and take an inner journey beyond everything you know, beyond form, beyond time, right back to the beginning before the universe was born. Before the beginning of the universe, there was no time, no form, no space. There was absolute emptiness. And absolute silence and an eternal peace. Before the beginning of all existence, there was absolutely nothing, and you were there. Here, you can also find the answer to the question on the lips of all beings who search for the realization of who am I? You can get a sense of that right here, right now, by letting go of absolutely everything and falling deeply into the quiet core of yourself. Deeply into your silent center. As you breathe in, follow your breath down into the belly. And find your quiet center core, the deep and rich, silent ground within your own being. And as you breathe out, fall even deeper. And as you breathe in and breathe out, fall even deeper. Just notice that the abyss deep within you is also endless, a bottomless pit, a peaceful ocean. When you fall deeply into yourself, you'll find that everything will eventually dissolve away into the background. Fall deeper on your next exhale. Drop down beneath the next thought. And eventually the thoughts will fall away. Time will fall away. Your body and the world will also disappear, so that all that remains is an empty, pristine, peaceful, and limitless awareness. As you breathe out, fall even deeper into the bottomless pit, silent void. When all things fall away, you set yourself free from all the body's boundaries, all of your stories and all of your limitations. You keep on falling. You find yourself floating in the infinite ocean. Breathe into that endless abyss. Rest deeply. This ocean of dark emptiness welcomes you home. It is an invitation to return to the true nature of your being. No longer trapped by the body, the mind, or the emotions. And as you keep on falling in the ocean of silent bliss, there is no time, no memories, no pain, no personal history. And the further that you fall into the abyss, you will find that all that is left is a deeper reality of you. And although all of your identification of the body and the mind has gone, your awareness still exists. Here you are absolute, pure, and free. And yet, as reality as a whole, you are all that is. Here you are absolute, the unseen, and the unknown. And yet you are also that which exists in form, the seen, and the all-knowing. You are all that is manifest and the unmanifest. You are the creator of everything, yet here you are nothing. all that has ever been and ever will be is made up of these two dimensions, both complete and both as one, both in harmony together. The deepest you can ever go is into this ocean, this still and silent void. This place where everything begins and ends. The primordial abyss. Foundation of being. Keep on diving. Go under. There is no end to how far this piece exists. This is who you are. It is your unborn nature. It's here where nothing's ever happened. Infinite peace and radical bliss. Freedom and liberation. And yet an undeniable presence. And although nothing exists, your I am presence is here. You ask, who is here? A faint whisper, I am this. But from this foundation of being, there is no desire for things of the world. All that you want is nothing. And there is to just be silent, still, and awake. Who's here? I am. You let the word I fall away, M fall away. And all that is left is pure consciousness, pure mind. Absolute silence. This is what it was like before the universe was created. This is the point of 0. Point 0. Nothing. And from this foundation of silent peace, the universe has not even emerged. Time has not even begun. There's absolutely nothing. Perfect, fulfilled, and complete. And from this ground of emptiness, this silent void, something mysteriously happens. You, as silent, conscious intelligence, decides that you want to know yourself for the sake of pleasure and joy. The very essence of this space of peace is joy, pure love, radiant joy. Yet for some reason, out of that dimension of blissful gratification, you made the decision to take a sacred journey and to create the cosmos. You, as the infinite primordial ground of silent, pure being, decided to manifest something out of nothing. You could have stayed resting in the ocean of empty stillness for eternity, but you chose to come into form so that you could experience what it's like to come into form, and so that you could take yourself as that pure love, that pleasure and that joy, and now experience yourself as an expression that we could become conscious of itself through manifested form. All for the joy of extending the presence of infinite peace and love out into the cosmos. $14 billion years ago, 14 billion years ago, from this ocean of empty, in infinite silence. All of the energy and matter of the universe condensed in a tiny single point of light, smaller than a pinprick. And we were all there. See yourself as the infinite void, the dark, eternal ocean of peace. And before you, that tiny pinprick of light rose out of your infinite mind. Everything that ever came into being was there, condensed into this tiny mystery and miracle. Allow yourself to feel what it's like before the beginning. This timeless, condensed, motionless reality. And now, somewhere in the midst of this mystery, some kind of restlessness has risen, compelling you to create something out of nothing. There must have been a sense of possibility, wanting to become. Now imagine what it was like to let that pressure, that longing to become, to create, to exist, to get so great that at some point in a great cosmic yes, you exploded into existence. A tiny pinprick of light exploded into existence. And you let loose your cosmic firestorm. And as you exploded into existence and scattered this chaotic wildness across the vast expanse, suddenly came into being. And then it just burnt in a chaotic intensity for 1,000,000 years, burning wildly, burning freely. And then after 1,000,000 or so years, imagine what it was like to begin to organize this chaos, this burning intensity. Imagine what it was like to pull this unstructured cloud of hydrogen gas and gradually combine it into 100 galaxies. And within these galaxies, you started producing more balls of hydrogen gas. Just see this, even if you don't know what it means. Just see it all happening. The primordial stars that began to burn with great intensity. And as they got hotter and hotter, they exploded into supernova. And with this intense heat generated by these supernovas, see how you fused that initial hydrogen and helium, those gases, into higher elements into carbon and oxygen and the whole periodic chart. And then in these explosions, which were as brilliant as the combined light of a billion stars, you scattered those elements across the galaxy, creating the building blocks for planets. And this particular planet called Earth, a home in which your soul will choose to inhabit. Now remember, imagine what it was like as Earth began to evolve. You took your dazzling display of creativity and moved it from this unfolding of cosmic evolution into an even more brilliant display known as biological evolution, the emergence of life upon the earth, from bacteria to plants to animals. And this explosion of biological diversity giving rise to some 50 million different species upon the earth. Your creative surge now gives birth to incredible beauty and diversity. In a change, all the miraculous unfolding of life, which moved along for another 4 billion years until this moment, 35,000 years ago, when again something unimaginable occurred and you took your creative display and gave birth to yet another dramatic transformation in the mind of one creation on this earth. Suddenly, the birth of human creativity and culture exploded into existence. The earth, the mother, gave nature, water, mountains to feed and to home the birth of human creativity. The home of the soul to birth itself into the vehicle called the physical form, the human being. And truly, we were a spiritual being on the earth having a human experience. Artwork began appearing on cave walls. Humans began placing flowers on the graves of the dead. Our ingenuity and our innovation starts moving forward. Feel what it's like to suddenly have your creativity begin to unfold through human culture, moving from the hunter-gatherer, cultivating the land to grow food for humanity, and then to industries and the information age. From cave paintings to pyramids to buildings, from Shakespeare to modern day performances of music, from the family unit to the clan to the tribe to the city, from the state to the nation, to the global village that is emerging today. Feel what it's like to have your creativity on this upward spiral of evolution. And now with the birth of human being, your creativity, your creative power has now begun to wake up to itself. For this first time since you exploded from the empty ocean of silent nothingness into the living universe that you created, you now have the eyes to look back in awe on your own unfolding and your truly magnificent and sacred journey from being to becoming. Your miraculous evolutionary dynamics have now become conscious, have now developed the ability to reflect on the entire process, to begin to understand its meaning and significance, and more importantly, to bring this sense of individual choice into existence and its new awakening and emergence to the possibility of these individual beings to awaken to their identity as you. You are the creative principle. You are the divine mind, source, consciousness. That is the true nature of your being. And you, as the divine desire, are waking up to yourself as the being of eternal peace and love within hundreds, thousands, perhaps millions of individual body minds on the planet today, realizing their own true identity as you, eternal, pure soul, with the same power and desire to create in alignment with you. And now feel your care for the world, for humanity. To care not just for yourself, but for the whole. To love, the desire towards goodness, kindness, truth, and pleasure for all of humanity. Your desire to uplift the entire event of life into something unimaginable, into something that has never been before. To evolve it from the unconscious habit of the past, patterns of the past, the unconscious, unknown strategies based on conditioned fear and confusion, into the beautiful expression of the love of the nature, the true being. You are. Who you were in the beginning, before all of existence. That silent, radiant presence is who you still are here today. And it is in this remembering the true nature of all beings that we celebrate in reverence to each and every soul on this earth. And in celebration for Harmony Day. Harmony. That which we all are. And in a holy instant, attention turned into the pure, silent, absolute nature of our being. It is within us, it is all around us. It is what all things are birthed within. Timeless, endless, infinite, silent, conscious love. And no one is left behind. We are all made in the likeness and image of that divine source, the creative principle, love. Love is who I am. Love is who I always will be. And in remembering my true nature being, I am filled with deep praise and gratitude for that gift. I bow to myself as that one in reverence, in celebration I am praise. I am gratitude. I am love. I am compassion. I am that. I am. You like that, Steve?